Would you agree with that characterization?
I
would agree that she worked hard. I now know I didn't at the time, because I was working on the other, as I explained, I was working on a whole other part of this.
If I could ask you to limit your answer to your knowledge at the time.
At the time, I did not know.
Thank you. The New York Times recently reported that in 2004, Ms. Maxwell arranged a $1 million payment to an events company called Publicis Group, and that the payment may have had some connection with the first Clinton Global Initiative conference in 2005.
Boy.
The reporting suggests that Mr. Epstein may
Working on my
have
tie
been
is
somehow
tough.
aware
We
of
got-
the payment.
We got a guy that's like
Specific memory or
really
knowledge or recollection
farmer tie
of the
and
$1 million payment I just described.
difficult. But I did it. We did it.
No.
It's also been reported that in September of 2013, at a Clinton Global Initiative conference, Ms. Maxwell,
And he's gone.
Ms. Maxwell was
And he's
recognized
gone.
as a commitment to action
That was tricky.
for her work on behalf of the Terramar Project, which was an ocean conservation nonprofit that she founded in
I
2012.
got stamp ink on my fingers now.
Do you have any memory or knowledge of that conference?
I do.
Great. Could you describe a little bit what you recall?
Yeah, because this shows you how the CGI works, not for Ghislaine, for everybody. She, the first, she was still with Ted Wade, and he was still heavily involved in ocean work. So that was sort of an incentive, but she had organized this group. And its objective was to, in effect, take two massive islands made of metal and junk out of the Atlantic. And they were floating around. One of them had gotten to the Caribbean. They were floating around in all this metal. So that was what she was trying to do. That was a good idea, and she was recognized for that. The fact that she was recognized was not particularly remarkable. Everybody who makes a commitment goes through a photo line and gets recognized.
Did you have any personal role in Ms. Maxwell's recognition at that event? Or would
No,
that have
I
been?
might have been in her room by the time she got it, but it was, no, they put the recognition in that room. I remember this specifically because it was where all the ocean freaks were, all the people that cared about this. That wanted to be. So that's why they wanted those things announced.
By ocean freaks, you mean people who are passionate about the ocean.
Yes,
Thank you.
I mean that. People who were passionate about doing this, it was great. And so I didn't think a thing about it.
Do you have any additional knowledge or recollection related to Ms. Maxwell's role at that event?
No.
Reportedly, in February of 2014, you had dinner with Ms. Maxwell and others in Los Angeles at a vegan restaurant called Crossroads Kitchen. That dinner had been organized by your then Deputy Chief of Staff, John Davidson, perhaps around 20 guests. Do you have any recollection of the dinner I just described?
I had a lot of dinners like that in Los Angeles, so I don't remember that specific one, but whenever I went to Los Angeles, I tended to have a dinner someplace in public with a lot of my friends, just to keep in touch with them, keep going.
As far as you can recall, when was the last time you had any form of communication with Ms. Maxwell?
I think it must be a decade ago, maybe even longer, I don't know, but it was a long time.
Thank you.
Mr. President, it's a pleasure to be here and quickly, on a lighter note, point of personal privilege. My birthday is November 5th, 1974, which shouldn't mean anything to you. But what it means is that I turned 18 2 days after the election. And I couldn't vote, and I'm still upset about that. So on behalf of my mom, I apologize. She was a little slow. President Clinton, as counsel noted at the beginning of this deposition, Donald Trump posted on social media that the that he wanted Attorney General Pam Bondi to investigate you and other prominent Democrats in order to distract from his own close ties to Jeffrey Epstein. That post was previously marked as Minority Exhibit B, which you already have.
Yep.
President Trump's post refers to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes against young girls and women as the Epstein hoax. His post also completely ignores several other high-profile individuals, including Republicans and allies of President Trump, who were known to have had relationships with Epstein. In fact, the Epstein files contain numerous officials in the current and previous Trump administrations who have connections to Jeffrey Epstein, including Howard Lutnick, RFK Jr., Steve Bannon, Tom Barrett, Kevin Warsh, and Mehmet Oz, to name a few. President Clinton, to your knowledge, has the Trump administration done anything at all to investigate these other individuals with ties to Epstein?
Well, I wouldn't be in a position to know that.
Of course
That's
not.
the truth, as I said earlier, the only conversation I had with President Trump about this was in the early 2000s. And I have no information that he did anything wrong. I just want it all out there. I want everybody to get it all out there and let everybody see where we are.
And have you had any conversations with him since the early 2000s about this subject matter?
No,
And then my last question is, Howard Lutnick recently went so far as to lie about his close connections with Jeffrey Epstein, but the truth came out with the release of the files. President Clinton, is Howard Lutnick still employed as Secretary of Commerce in the Trump administration, to your knowledge?
I think he is.
And in your opinion, why is